whatever you had to overcome to be in the room or to be behind that screen, it's not by accident. And even bigger than the fact that I get a chance to share with you about blooming in career, I just want to share with you, and when a contact was made, through some hardship in my family, we had a very broken, disoriented family. And I guarantee that many of the people in this room, you have a similar story. And I lost my sister in 2003 to a battle with cancer. And due to family dysfunction, we didn't know until about 6 months after she passed away. One thing on my bucket list has always been to visit my sister's grave. But I didn't know, like, how in the world would I ever get there? Why would I ever go? Not on any pathway I would ever go on. And then I get a phone call, or actually a Facebook message from Sean that says, I'd like to speak with you about coming to this conference. And I said, well, where's the conference? She says, in Newark, Delaware. While we're on the Zoom call, I start looking up. How far is Newark from Bear, Delaware, where my sister lived until she passed away? And yesterday, I had the chance with my friend Becky to drive an hour south of here and visit my sister's grave and leave a penny on there to indicate that I had been there. And I'm just telling you, healing. You had no idea, Sean, any of that was part of the story. It is not by accident that your message brought me here. So thank you for being part of my healing. Thank you. All right, so let's talk. We're going to talk about blooming in our careers, but I realize in the room we have a lot of mix of what we do. And so I'm just going to share some general thoughts with you, not relative to one area of influence. And here's what I'll say. Our friend John Maxwell says this: leadership is influence. Whenever we have an opportunity to influence anyone, that can be our family, our friends, our neighborhood, our churches, our workplaces, we have influence. And we want to make sure that we use that and steward it well for the growth of ourselves and for the good of the people we serve, okay? So when we think about the word bloom, and I've been pondering on this since I was asked to be a part of this amazing event, and so I have a friend with me. Her name is Becky. Some of y'all have met her. See, y'all, I'm going to keep saying that. I have learned to listen to make sure that I understand the dialect of people from many countries. I'm from the country of Alabama. So if you have any questions later about what I said, I'll be glad to tell you and interpret for you, okay? But so I have my friend Becky who's here with me. I have another friend that I spend a lot of time with, and her name is Miriam. Merriam-Webster, it's the dictionary, okay? And oftentimes I consult Miriam and I say, could you please give me some insight into what this word means? Help me to understand better. And there's some definitions for the word bloom. One of those is a state or time of beauty, freshness, and vigor. Okay, let's talk about it. That's why we're here. It's a state or time of high development or achievement. We're here to develop ourselves, right? So we can achieve. Also, a season of producing flowers. So you see what's on the table. You've seen the logo and everything else that's gone out. But I want to ask you this. Do you understand that the flower is the reproductive part of a plant? What blooms is intended to be reproduced, not just to stay there and look pretty. When we bloom, we need to realize that we are the reproductive part, and we need to make sure that what is being reproduced in our lives is for the good of other people. So you're doing that today. We talk about don't just invest on yourself. How many have gone and had your hair done or your nails done in the past month? Raise your hand. Anybody? Okay, this probably would have more gray in it if I had not paid to have it colored just the other day. So we do that. We invest on ourselves. We get clothes, we get nails, we go on trips. But today you're making a choice to invest in yourself. You're planting things in you that are going to reproduce fruit. And fruit is not made for us to eat. Fruit is made for the people around us to feast on. All right? You ready? That's right. All right. So everything that has happened to us has happened in us. So just asking a question as we start today to get some commonality in the room. We're all from different places, races, backgrounds, dynamics. I want you to stand real quickly if you have ever experienced hardship in your life. Just real quickly stand for just a second. Okay? If you have experienced hardship Anything that's been a struggle, you have had to persevere, you have had to overcome. Look around the room. Here we are. We have stories to be told. Thank you so much. Okay, so what I want you to understand in this is that is not wasted. So those things that have been done to us have been done in us, and they're going to reproduce fruit. So how do we use those things to reproduce good things? Okay? Chapters of our life have been written. But anything that you know about a book, there's not just one chapter. So that's part of your story, but that's not the whole story. And there's still more to be written. And that's why we're here today. Ecclesiastes 4, verses 9 and 10 says this. Two, y'all say two, are better than one. Two are better than one. They can help each other, is what Scripture said. They can help each other succeed. If one falls, he or she has someone to pick them up, right? So that's our whole deal. But when someone falls alone, they're in significant trouble. Okay, translation, Alabama translation. We need each other to fully bloom. You need the people at your table. You need the people in your community. You need the people in your workplace. That's how you develop a powerful career. We heard that from Miss Judy. She helped other people bloom. Right? All right, so today you've made a commitment to invest in yourself. And I'm so proud of you for doing that and thankful to be a part of the journey. Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple. Okay, many of us have been impacted by him, never met him, but we carry his devices in our hands. Except for all you Android users in the room, but we're praying for you. All right, we'll see. All right, so Steve Jobs, he said this: great things in business are never done by one person. That's right. They're done by a team of people. Okay? We've talked, it's just like lots of confirmations over similar concepts in here. We need each other. So from the time I was a little girl, I have had a heart for investing in other people. I would play in my basement with my Barbies in Cleveland, Ohio, and line them all up and teach them and read to them. And none of them ever talked back. They didn't have to go to the bathroom. It was a glorious experience. But in that, something was blooming. Okay? Throughout my childhood, I had some wonderful experiences. My softball team won the championship. We got celebrated. But I also remember the experiences of separating my mom and my sister as they hurt each other with their fists and they wounded each other with their words. Something was blooming. Throughout the investment of others, I made it to college and was able to become the first generation college graduate in my family, overcoming poverty, overcoming lots of family dysfunction, and then later, those Barbie years paid off when I became a third grade teacher, and I was actually my friend Baby's daughter's third grade teacher. She's still my friend, so I guess it's okay. But look, something bloomed. That basement came alive. That led to a shift to youth and children's ministry, where I was able to invest seeds of hope and faith in young people and in their families. Then became a high school counselor to help students discover their purpose and believe in themselves and open doors for their future, because I wanted to be to them what I needed somebody to be for me. Something bloomed. That led to an opportunity to where I am now at our central office. And there at the system central office, I have the opportunity daily to pour into an administrative team of about 35 members, of building principals and assistant principals, totaling about 110 people. I support 47 school counselors who daily invest in over 19,000 students. It's not by accident that I started teaching Barbies and investing in other people as they had invested in me. Something bloomed. I never would have made it without the investment of other people in me, ever, because we are better together. We need one another, okay? I had people in my life who identified my gifts and called things out of me and pushed me when I didn't want to be pushed. We need that. And we need to be pushers at times for other people, okay? I think of Rob Kane and Betty Williams. They were my college pastors, people who taught me how to pray, how to be a godly woman, because I wasn't raised in that environment, how to serve others, how to understand Scripture. never forget their influence in my life. I think about Miss Ann Lilly, who was my senior math teacher. A huge reason why I chose to go into education was because of her belief in me and her constant reminders that I had a gift. I think about Dr. Mims and Dr. Hunt, who were two of my education professors at Mississippi University for Women. So we have like the whole Southeast represented over here. We got Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, okay? And honestly, Rock City, I know, completely different country. Rock City is also in Tennessee. So there's that. We're going to call it over there. I think about them. My husband, Kyle, who is my biggest cheerleader and gave me the opportunity to be here today. Prays for me and supports me. And then I think about my fight club. Becky is part of a very close group of friends that I have. Friends who pray for me and encourage me and believe in me and sacrifice to support a dream that God has put in my heart. So my question is this for you. Who are the people who have invested in you? And you have a piece of paper. You may still have a pen from our welcome, but probably have some type of device. So I'm going to ask you to do something today, because I don't want you to just to come and sit and get.
Yep.
Okay?
Yeah.
We're not just going to sit and get. That's not how we bloom. We're going to take it and put it into practice. So I want to ask you, pull out a pen and paper if you have it, or pull out a phone and open up a new note or an iPad or whatever you have. And I just want to ask you this. Quickly, for the top 3 people that come to mind, who has invested in your life to promote you to where you are today? And go ahead, write their names down. Some of them may still be with us, and some of them may not be with us anymore. But think about that. The top 3 people, just real quickly, write their names down. Who has invested in you and shaped your life? And then what I want you to do as we leave here, I want you to make sure that as much as possible, for those who still have the ability to be communicated with, you touch base with them by Monday to thank them for their investment in you. Send them a text, call them, shoot them an email, send them a social media post, or go to the archaic practice of writing a handwritten note and put it in the mail by Monday. Don't wait, because something else will crowd it out. Let somebody know that you're thankful for what they helped you become. Okay? Deal?
Yep, deal.
All right, I'm from Alabama. Don't make me come back up here and follow up on you. Okay, we're going to wrap up, but I want to encourage you with 3 things. I'm going to kind of drop a little bit on you before we finish today. And here's what I'm going to ask you is this. It's like, number 1, we need to know this in any career pathway that we're in, and really in any relationship, as parents, as friends, as leaders. You have to know your value.
Right. Yep.
You have to know your value. Because if you don't, anybody else will tell you what your value is. You have to know your value. And honestly, Miss Judy said this very same statement. So I immediately showed my notes to Becky. You can't give away what you don't possess. If you have no self-confidence, you can never invest that in someone else. If you don't have hope, you can't give that to somebody else.
Yeah.
If I've run out of gas on the side of the road, I can't give gas to somebody else who's run out because I have none. You need to know your value, that you were created in a very specific way and wired in the way that you're wired to make a difference in the places that you have been put.
Yeah.
Don't ever doubt it.
Yes. Right.
You're not too much. You're not extra. And if you want to be extra, be extra. If that's the way you're wired. Tell all the people, and just sit down and watch me be. Okay?
That's right.
You know your value. So I would like for you to consider, what are your strengths? We always get asked that in interviews. What are your 3 greatest strengths? And sometimes it's easier for us to identify our weaknesses than the things that we're really good at. Identify your strengths. I'm a great communicator. I'm an encourager. And I like to make people laugh. So what am I going to do over the next month to develop those things in myself and make them better? Because that's the way I'm wired, and that's how He has enabled me to make a difference in people's lives. Don't miss it. Don't just sit and get. Identify your strengths and work on them. Invest in you so that you can invest in others. Number 2 is this. Know their value. Once you get yours settled, you can know theirs. And they are the people who are on your team, your teammates, what matters to them. They're the customers that you serve, however that may look. It could be students in our school system. It could be leaders of school buildings for me. It could be community members. It could be women I lead in small groups. I need to know their value, okay? And so here's the deal. Our career will not be successful without other people. We can't sit in the cubicle by ourselves and continue to grow and have impact because the walls don't want to buy your product, okay? The walls aren't buying what you're selling. We need to make sure we're in relationship with other people. Look for their strengths too. When you know what yours are, it's easier to call them out than somebody else, right? Okay? So know your value, know their value. Help them bloom. Help them. And then number 3 is this. Then add value to them. This is our friend John Maxwell. We are people of value who value people and add value to them. That's exactly what is happening here. Sean, thank you so much for your heart to say, we're going to take you to the next level. We're going to put some things in you that make you even more qualified to do what you're doing because you're going to believe in yourself, know that you're on purpose, know that you can make a difference, and then you can go do it. Go blaze your trail, okay? Bill Hybel said this, that when a leader gets better, everybody gets better.
That's right.
I'm talking to a room full of leaders.
Yes, that's right.
So your investment in here today means everyone is going to get a benefit of the fruit that you bear, what you reproduce. Y'all feeling me? You got it? Hey y'all, just making sure you're there, okay? So your investment in today is going to help you invest in other people tomorrow. Someone out there, they need your example. Someone out there needs to hear your story. Whether it's written in a book, posted on social media, or just in a face-to-face conversation, someone needs hope about how to overcome, and you can be the key to that. Someone needs to watch you grow. Someone needs to watch you succeed. Someone needs to watch you struggle. And then somebody needs to watch you persevere.
Yes, right.
Okay? When you know that you're a beautiful daughter or son of the King, it's settled. You've got your identity, like I know who I am.
Yep.
I know who he says I am. One of my favorite female pastors, Christine Kane, they talk about speaking to their daughter, and they've always taught her, you're a sweet girl, God loves you, you're beautiful, you're more than a conqueror, saying all these things. And then when she started school, this little boy started picking on her. And he came up to her and said, listen, you're fat, and you're ugly, and you're stupid. And she just like stood up, straightened up her crown, and she said, no, I'm not, because my daddy says I'm beautiful. My daddy says I'm on purpose. My daddy says I'm loved. And it was settled with her as a kindergartner. So especially women in the room, we have to know that we are loved and on purpose. When you know your value, their value will not be a threat to you.
Yeah.
There was a question that we asked last night. How do we have more collaboration instead of competition? Because you know your value and it's settled, then you're not threatened by their value. You realize what you bring to the table may be different than what they bring to the table, and they can work together to do something powerful. Okay? 2 are better than 1. We need each other. Your life matters. Your story matters. Your successes matter. Your strength matters. We are not just here, listen to me, we're not just here to make money. It's nice, but we're here to make a difference. So all I want to know is, does anybody want to bloom? Are you ready? All right. Hey, y'all. Thank you so much for letting me do this.